Stan is one of those heroes most players unlock, use for a little while, and then completely forget about. But is he actually worth building? In this guide, we're breaking down his skills, best pairings, armament, beast, talents, and where he performs best. And most importantly, when should you stop investing in him? Let's go. All right, so first and foremost, who is Stan? Stan is a common infantry hero designed primarily around infantry, defense, garrison, frontline combat, counter damage while defending, early game survivability. He has 3 talent trees, which are infantry, garrison, and defense. He's also a frontline close range hero, which fits his defensive tank identity. Now, Stan's overall role is battle, early game infantry garrison defender. For adventure, frontline crowd control tank. Player versus player, very limited once stronger infantry heroes are available. Garrison, it's the strongest battle niche. Investment level is low. Long-term value is low. Now, pretty much the only thing that you need to understand is Stan is a progression hero. You're only pretty much going to use him because he's inexpensive and available, not because you plan on building an endgame march around him. All right, so let's go ahead and go over some of these battle skills here. All right, so its first one is called Bloody Gouge. Rage skill, deals direct damage to target squad, damage factor 2000. All right, so this is a straightforward rage skill. There's no debuffs, healing, shield, rage manipulation, no AoE, no additional defense effect. You simply get direct damage. And then also keep in mind that 2000 maximum damage factor is a respectable amount for an inexpensive common hero for early game progression. All right, so nowhere near what higher rarity modern heroes can produce, of course. Now, early game, it stands main source of burst damage. Later game, this skill is one of the biggest reasons he falls behind. Modern infantry heroes frequently combine damage with shields, healing, debuffs, and rage manipulation. Also AoE and other secondary effects. Stan doesn't. Next skill is called Battle On. It increases Infantry Squad defense by 2%, and it maxes at 6%. Now with this, we're actually getting into Stan's actual identity. Stan isn't designed to be a damage carry. He's designed for an infantry formation to make him harder to kill. The important word here is infantry. If you're using Stan in battle, load the march with infantry whenever possible. Throwing him into mixed march troop compositions wastes part of his kit. Next skill is called Endless Fury. Increases squad's counter damage by 2.5% when the squad is garrisoning a shelter. Now with this skill, it tells you exactly what Stan was designed to do. Garrison a structure, basically. Now the downside, this skill does absolutely nothing for you if you're roaming around the map. Like open field, zombies, resource gathering, or regular offense marches. You're effectively running without this part of his kit. But keep in mind, whenever you're defending your shelter, suddenly it activates and increases your counterattack damage. That synergizes nicely with the effective infantry standing there and absorbing tags and punishing anyone hitting them. All right, so next skill is called Skull Breaker. Infantry attack squad attack or increases infantry squad attack by 2%. Max is at 6. All right, so this skill right here is going to round out Stan's infantry kit nicely. Battle On gives 5% infantry defense. Skullbreaker gives 5% infantry attack. So when both are max, Stan gives his infantry a little additional offense and defense. Again, 5% isn't game changing, but for a common hero that you're going to naturally accumulate relics on, it's fine. Now, if you're building Stan for the most part for Garrison, I would say that you need to max out the first skill first, third, second, and then the fourth. If you're just using him for general combat, you'll max out the first skill, second skill, fourth skill, and then the third skill. All right, so let's go over the adventure side. Now, Bloody Gouge is going to go ahead and deal 410% attack as damage to enemies in front and knocks them back. Battle On is going to increase hit points by 3%. Skullbreaker is going to increase defense by 3%. And then Endless Fury is a passive skill, of course. It's going to increase attack by 3. Of course, max is going to be at 8. All right, so recommended weapon, Armament. Stan's actual signature weapon is his, in lore, is his bloodstained axe, pickaxe. And you see all that blood just sitting on there? Just make sure if you have any kind of premium armaments or weapons or anything like that, don't use them on Stan. You're putting spare infantry compatible armaments to Stan that have infantry defense, infantry hit points, squad defense, damage reduction, survivability, infantry attack, and also offensive secondary stats. And you might be asking yourself, why are we doing defense before attack? It's because we're building what Stan already does well. He's not suddenly going to become a damage dealer because you add more attack. Make him better at his job, staying alive. Now, when it comes to beasts, there's not a Stan beast per se. You're going to try to use your strongest defensive survivability oriented spare beast. So you want to make sure you prioritize anything with hit points, defense, damage reduction, shield survivability, counter capability. And you also make sure that for Garrison, survivability is more valuable to overall concept than trying to turn Stan into a glass cannon. And also keep in mind that, specific beasts Stan doesn't require specific beasts. Since beasts operate independently from hero skills, use your strongest developed beasts. Prefer one built around survivability. That's basically all I'm trying to tell you guys. Now, when it comes to pairings, you're going to do probably more than likely Charlie and Stan. You're going to make sure that Charlie is the leader, Stan's the assistant. All right, so this is going to be one thing that, Charlie brings AoE rage skill, rage recovery, and up to 18% infantry defense, infantry attack, enemy damage reduction, and up to 20% infantry hit points while garrisoning. Now, Stan contributes his inexpensive infantry attack and defense and garrison counterattack damage. Now, the reason why you want Charlie to lead, Charlie has infantry garrison skills. Stan has infantry garrison defense. So Charlie's stronger rage generated oriented kit gives you more offensive output, while Stan helps provide cheap supplement stats. Now we're going to answer one of the questions that we had asked in the beginning of the video. How far should you level Stan? All right, this is where I say that it's going to save you guys some resources here. Stan's currently placed C tier for infantry. So the best thing to do is take him until you get a much better hero. That's the best thing. That's the best advice I can give you on that one. For a new account, absolutely use him if he's one of the strongest options that you have. Early progression, level him enough to help your adventure team or fill infantry march. That's perfectly reasonable, of course. Mid game, start reducing investment. Late game, just stop. Now, what he's not good at is end game infantry carry, rally leader, open field damage dealer, zombie farming, long-term PvP investment, premium armament, premium beast investment. Now, what he is good at is brand new accounts, early adventure, frontline tanking, crowd control, early infantry formations, budget shelter defense, temporary garrison duty, filling an infantry assistant slot, and that's where he belongs. So just keep in mind, in recapping here, overall, Stan is a solid early game infantry defender with surprisingly useful crowd control in adventure, but he's definitely a hero you should eventually replace. Use him, don't overinvest in him, and once your stronger infantry heroes come online, it's time to let Stan retire. I hope this video found you guys well. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, make sure you guys are dropping that like, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.